snowy mountains of East Tennessee in February, I had many expectations for my time in Argentina. As with any adventure, however, my time here has been like nothing from my wildest dreams. As much as I've learned about myself in the previous experiences of my life, I wasn't ready for all that Argentina had in store. I was lucky enough to meet up with other Clemson students on the trip down, and new friendships that will undoubtedly be around for a long time began to form through our shared nerves and excitement. After 19 hours of traveling, my host mother met me at the airport and took me to my home for the next 5 months. I had no idea what to expect my house to look like. The pool was a nice and welcome surprise. The city of Córdoba is an interesting combination of big city development and traditional cultural charm. Almost in the center of the country and surrounded by mountains, it has provided a unique setting to spend my semester. La Universidad Blas Pascal is absolutely nothing like Clemson, and while I was ready for this, it has still taken time to get used to a tiny campus with basically 4 main buildings. One of my favorite different characteristics is the fact that instead of water fountain and cold water, they have hot water available as well. Everyone knows how much I love to have coffee and tea around me at all times. Speaking of tea, another one of the unexpected yet wonderful surprises of Argentina is the ever-present tea beverage called mate. I have fallen so in love with mate in all forms that it will undoubtedly be incorporated into my life back home. Another Argentine aspect that will almost certainly become part of my life in the States is the tango. I've always loved dancing, and tango has become one of my new obsessions. The richness and passion of the dance, combined with its influences on the culture and history of Argentina, make it that much more interesting and fun to learn. Besides the variety of lessons learned and the new additions to my diet, many of my most notable experiences have happened on my traveling adventures across the country. From the north to the south, I've been able to experience the wide range of lifestyles and landscapes that Argentina has to offer. Probably the highlight of my semester was to the southern region called Patagonia. My friend Louise and I traveled to a city called Puerto Madryn for a long weekend of adventuring. One of the most common reasons, and understandably so, to visit this area is to see penguins. There were thousands of penguins scattered throughout the breathtaking landscape. We also spent a lot of time falling in love with sea lions that call the region home. Louise was even brave enough to go snorkeling in the water and play with them. At the other extreme of the country is an opposite yet equally as stunning setting in the province of Jujuy. We spent most of this weekend off the beaten path, which meant lots of hiking and scary roads to travel down. The colors and immensity of the mountains created scenery that was hard to believe was real. The third largest salt flats in the world also made our itinerary, which was a setting for much fun picture taking and playing. It was like being on a desert of salt. We also had the opportunity to spend time in service and community with an indigenous city called Chalala. Seeing how people lived in the beautiful yet harsh landscape was a meaningful experience for all of us. The capital city of Buenos Aires was yet another completely different world. The large urban environment had an energy unlike any other part of Argentina. We spent a large part of our time taking in the key locations of the city as well as the culture and arts. One of my favorite places, where I plan to have a winter home someday, were the islands near a town called El Tigre. These islands are constantly forming and are simultaneously bustling and tranquil. One of the places that reminded me most of home were the mountains right outside of Córdoba. Not only was the scenery beautiful, but it also provided a wonderful escape from the city and everyday life. I had the opportunity to spend quiet time at what felt like the top of the world with a friend, and was able to see Córdoba from a different perspective, both literally and figuratively. In only 3 months here, Argentina has added thousands of pictures of unique and incredible landscapes and events to my scrapbook, new tastes and habits to my everyday life, and, most importantly, a new perspective with which to view myself in the future.